Welcome to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica, and Steve Bradley here with the Fairport Red Raiders, who have climbed the top of the mountain in the state of New York for girls lacrosse for the first time in school history. They're joining us now, Coach Mara Karpp, also Ava Peers and Ella Peers, sisters, a senior and a sophomore, and essentially a brick wall in the cage there for Fairport over the last month. Jaelyne Twomey is with us too. She's going to Ohio State. We'll talk more about that. Ava is going to Louisville. And Steve Bradley, we got to cover the Section 5 championship game against Rush Henrietta. Just a ho-hum overtime 1-goal win for Fairport. Steve,
well,
what a run they were
on,
on.
Right?
What's that? Triple, yeah. What a season, what a postseason they had, Steve.
Oh, it was fantastic. 3 of their last 4 wins were one-goal victories. 2 of those games were in multiple overtime. You mentioned Jaelyne, 19 saves in the state final against Suffern. Just it all came together. And Coach Karpp, I'll start with you. I saw you at East Rochester coming into the sectional final against Rush Henrietta. Just was trying to check a couple pronunciations, get a little insight, and you said, we're just going to play our game. We've only lost 2 games all season, and we avenged the first one. We're going to try and avenge the second one. What clicked for this team in the postseason?
I think the main thing, and it's probably what you'll hear from the girls too, is just we were having so much fun from the start of the season to the end of the season. It was a really close-knit group. The chemistry was off the walls. And they just loved playing with each other. And that was evident in all 50 minutes of every game. And so when I said that I felt good going into it, it really was about that. And I had felt confident about our abilities all year, but in the past, we haven't been able to kind of put it together in those semifinal and after those games. And I felt a confidence this year with this group that, maybe I hadn't felt in previous years, or maybe the group felt so good, but no, just really proud of the effort. And I feel I'm very proud of this group this year.
We will take you through what happened in Cortland because it was pretty darn exciting stuff. Lily Conda scores the winning goal to beat Massapequa in the second overtime off a great cut. Katie Malaber, who's been so key to what you do all year, with a great pass. And you were playing shorthanded. Is that, Ava, is that true? You were shorthanded.
Yeah, I had my second yellow. So we were playing and we had
I didn't even know it was you that was out.
We were very shorthanded.
Yes.
They had both of the Pierce sisters in the box at the end of the game.
There's a
Wait a minute, you were down 2 players.
We sure were.
How do you even draw that up? Wow. So you're down 2 players. Oh my gosh, I thought it was only down 1. Incredible.
No. Yeah.
Coach, was that just 2 kids making a play, or was there something you drew up?
It was nothing that we drew up. I think that we had I don't remember if it was a timeout. I think we did call a timeout. And what I told them was just like, we're down one person right now. We have to just beat the girl in front of us and then make a play for the next pass. And I didn't think that we had to really go any deeper than that. These kids are so smart. Their lacrosse IQ is off the charts. I knew that, if you point them in the right direction, they're going to know where to go off of that. And we've seen that in so many games this year, not just the state final, but it helps that it works in the state final.
Right.
Ava, what's the feeling right there? I mean, you've had a great season. You're a great player. You're going to play in college at Louisville, and here you are in the state championship game, and you're a spectator until it ends to watch your teammates finish it. How did you handle all that?
It was definitely the most emotional thing like I've ever been through. Like I knew I trusted my teammates. That's something I say in my head every single time. Like I'm on the draw circle and I know Lily, number 4, she's our draw girl. And the things going through my head is I trust my teammates. I know where she's going to put the ball. And when I was out, all I could think of was just trusting her. And then when Ella joined me on the sidelines, I knew that there was something good that was going to happen because we all just have this connection, whether we're 2-man down or 1-man down. We still know the rules of the game and what our job is to do. And we were in our motion and we found the back of the net at the end of the day.
Ella, let me ask you about the confidence the play of Jaelyne Twomey had in goal for this group. No matter how many players down, right? You know that she was playing out of her mind. How much confidence did this group have? Probably almost all year long, but we saw her play in the Section 5 championship game and totally stonewalled Rush Henrietta, a really good team. But how much confidence, Elle, did that give you as a group because your goalie was out of her mind?
I think it gave us 100% confidence. It gives our defense confidence. Usually play attack and I'm along the restraining line watching the defense play. And whenever she makes a save, we're all throwing our hands up. And it's just the best thing ever. I think we trust her 100%, no matter how many players down we are.
Jaelyne, you just had a fantastic postseason. We've alluded to it a couple of times. What was working best for you so that you could be there time and time again for your team?
I just think I give most of the credit to our defense because they're just amazing. They like lock down the ball and the girls next to the ball, which makes like a hard shot, and hard shots are easier to save. So I give all the credit to the defense, and they just killed it that game.
But
Well, she said
Jaelyne,
the IQ is really good for this team. Obviously, Steve, but Jaelyne, let's be honest. We saw you play and stop some shots where they beat your defense.
or the
And
or
they're
the free
one-on-one with you.
positions, Jeff, too. The free position shots. She was lights out.
You said you were like, it was almost like a batter in baseball. I think I read a quote where you said, I'm seeing the ball really well right now. Does that happen in spurts where you really start to see the ball well, or is that just something you said that day?
Yeah, I think it just depends on the shot. Like some shots are easier to read than others. Like it depends on the 8 meter too, where it is. On the 8 meter, like center hash is a lot harder than like one of the outer ones. But yeah, it all depends on the shot, and I guess I was just seeing it that day.
And every other day.
Yeah, then the next day, and then the next game.
And then the next day.
Steve?
Coach Karpp, Jaelyne alluded to the defense. We talked a little bit about Abby Console on our broadcast, but who were some of the keys on defense for you that made that back end work?
Well, all four of them and our midfielders as well. So 4 people plus 3 midfielders makes an entire defensive unit. That's something we focused on the entire year. Everybody's got a role to play. And I think that what Jaelyne was talking about is her defense putting her in a good position to make a save. So we call it forcing a low percentage shot. Our philosophy is that if as a defense, we can force them to take a lower percentage shot, a low angle shot, that we have an excellent goalie in the cage to make the save. And I think that everybody did that. I'm really impressed by obviously Abby Council. She was a leader for us on defense this year. Madison Van Gorder is a name that you're going to be hearing in the next couple of years. She's a freshman. She was our shutdown defender this year. She matched up on some of the top players in Section 5. Pretty stone cold while she did it too. She's pretty locked in. And Ellie Miller is a midfielder for us. Her defensive positioning is excellent. She's also a freshman. Ava is a ground ball hog. She's on the ground balls. That's her thing. She's just picks them up with such ease. And then all of our midfielders that come down and contribute. Caitlin Frank had some huge plays in our Rush Henrietta game, taking some chances on the ball, some huge cause turnovers. And then Emily Kane's been really consistent for us as well. So I feel like I just named our entire defense, but that's kind of the point.
You're state champs. You're entitled.
Right.
And by the way, scoring 8 goals, 4 each in the state title game were a pair of sophomores, Ella Peers and Lily Condit. So that's not too bad either. They got some really clinical finishers who were really young. And I think I only counted 6 seniors on this squad.
There are 6 seniors. They're huge, huge impact players for us, both in terms of their play and their legacy and their leadership. So it's going to be a huge loss, but I feel good about what they've left for all of the many sophomores and freshmen and people coming out.
So Ava, let me ask you this. You're up 7-4 in the state title game. Then they score 3 goals in 36 seconds to tie it. Massapequa, the alma mater of a certain comedian. Do you know who that is, ladies? I know Steve knows this. I use this all the time. Massapequa is the alma mater of a guy named Seinfeld.
Oh.
Jerry Seinfeld's from Massapequa. Well, it was no laughing matter. They came back and they forced overtime. But they come back and they score 3 goals in 36 seconds on you. Jaelyne, do you speak up? Does somebody speak up as a coach in the timeout? How did you all keep your poise, even though they just flipped the switch on you like that?
Well, there's been many games where we've had teams come up on us in close games, and something that our team focuses on is the moment and being in the moment. And when we are in the huddles, we're staying positive. And we did have a special speaker come in, Shay Baker. She goes to Boston College, and she was telling us that like when she's on the field and during a state title game and maybe a defender gets beat. Sometimes we don't have to be so uptight about things, and we can laugh it off and be like, oh, we can get the next one, because it's important to have fun. And when you tend to tense up in these moments, you can't be your best self. So that's something that our team focused on. Like, if there are mistakes and goals we can limit the goals. We can't prevent them. We can limit them. So when they did score 3 goals on us, it's something that we will have to adjust to, but we can't get so tensed up, because then we're not playing to our full potential.
Ella, you had what I would think a moment you'll remember for a long, long time, scoring that winning goal in the sectional final, coming across and ending it in overtime, and then getting your whole team to rush you and jump on you and celebrate. Take us through that, please.
So we were man up because the other team got a yellow card, and we were running a play called 52, which is technically where we're supposed to move the ball around and look in the middle. And we weren't seeing very many open people in the middle, because they were shutting off number 4, Lily Condis, and number 20, Ellie Miller, because they were doing a phenomenal job in the middle and finishing those shots off of the inside passes. So I see the ball, and I'm facing the scoreboard, and I see 8 seconds left, and I get the ball, and I'm like, okay, I've dodged top side this whole entire game, and I've been pretty successful, but it's time to go inside and like go down towards the goal. So I get the ball. I'm like, Katie, scooch over a little bit, and I do a little inside roll, and I've had a very low angle on the shot, but it went in, and when I made it in, it was kind of one of the most surreal feelings ever, and it was just amazing. And yeah, there's pictures to prove it. My face is the funniest face ever. I'm like,
I remember telling Ella, I'm like, Ella, don't you go, because like I know she's a heavy dodger, and the double is coming like every time she gets the ball, because they know she's the biggest threat. So I'm like, when I see her taking it under, I'm like, oh my God, I'm on my toes. And then that ball's in the net, and there we go. We're
Steve,
finalists.
it's pretty amazing. Like, listen to them talk about you can tell that you talk about high IQ. Just describing what you did, you can tell how well you know the game and know the angles and know the plays and know what you need to do to be successful. And then your sister was just talking about, we really can't play our best if we're tensed up, and like almost you probably did some breathing before the game or some yoga or something to get your mind right. But the stuff that like, Neanderthals like us back 20, 30, 40 years ago never thought about in sports. So coach, did you all do any sort of like, healthy mind stuff over the course of the year?
We didn't do a lot of breathing, or a lot of what we do just in our day to day is philosophy and talking about what's important to us as a group and what we value. So that's very much ingrained in our culture. I do think what Ava referenced with Shea Baker coming in during the state championship weekend, it was really huge for us and our mindset. Like I really have to thank her. I think that she helped to put us in such a good mindset to see somebody coming off a national championship game where they lost by 12 goals, and to have her come in and be like, it's not that big, like just have fun and just love your teammates. It was something that I think our team needed to hear, being the first time ever, or first time for this group at a state championship weekend. And it was huge. So no, nothing specific in terms of yoga and, sports psych, but a lot of that is really embedded into our culture to begin with. So
Let's take our quick break, come back and talk more with the Fairport Red Raiders, state champions. Has a nice ring to it, doesn't it, ladies? Right here on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.
The best 3 things here at McQuaid are definitely the sports, the brotherhood, and the service to community. I think that's a really big, important thing that McQuaid stresses, which is part of creating a better and great man. You definitely feel a connection with your fellow students here. It's being all guy school. You're able to relate to each other on a personal level, and everyone's very welcoming here with open arms and willing to be your friend.
While we celebrate 140 years of serving our community, the kind of delicious joy that lasts a lifetime, We look forward to serving you for 140 more. With hardworking, wholehearted, passionate people who will help shape new memories for generations to come.
You don't choose to get hurt at work, but you can choose the workers' comp attorneys at Connors and Ferris to fight for your money and medical benefits you deserve.
With over 20 years of industry experience, we will give your case our undivided attention so that you and your family can focus on your recovery.
So call Connors and Ferris, the workers' comp attorneys dedicated to fighting for injured workers' rights.
Connors and Ferris, your workers' comp attorneys.
Are you looking for a place to create your greater story? Roberts Wesleyan University was voted the best undergraduate program by the Rochester Business Journal Reader Rankings in 2022. We're honored and humbled for being recognized as a top winner. Within every student is a transformation story in the making. At Roberts, you'll find an academically inspiring environment led by supportive, high-quality professors. You'll build upon your education and have opportunities to pursue your interests, explore career opportunities, and shape your future forward at Roberts, a liberal arts university anchored in Christ located in Rochester, New York. Apply now for fall 2023 at roberts.edu/apply. We'll get back to you within 24 hours once you submit your application. Bring your greater story to light at Roberts Wesleyan University.
Local McDonald's operators care about our local schools, teams, and student athletes. That's why they support the return of high school athletics in the Rochester area and around the state. See you before or after the big game at McDonald's. Welcome back, Section 5. Game on!
Why do you exercise? To look better? To feel better? To drop a few pounds? To train for an event? To defy age? Or to keep your ability to say yes to the things you love to do? Whatever motivates you, G&G Fitness Equipment is here to get you there. Treadmills, ellipticals, rowers, bikes, home gyms, and accessories. We'll pair you with the right equipment, teach you how to use it, and be there every step of your fitness journey. G&G Fitness. Your goal is our goal.
Welcome back to the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show. Jeff, DiVeronica, and Steve Bradley wrapping up the spring season with a state champion, the first time ever for Fairport girls lacrosse. Coaches and players here. Let's start with our seniors heading on to the future here. Jaelyne Twomey, your goalie. If you're not first team All-State, then there should be investigation. But obviously, you've had a great career. You're going to Ohio State. What attracted you to the Buckeyes and vice versa, I guess? We know what attracted them to you. You're really good. But what did you like about Columbus, Ohio?
I know I wanted a big school and I didn't want to be in New York State. So there's that. Also, when I got there, like they have very similar like team values to us that we have at Fairport. So that was like huge too. Like they have, like we have our, like we call them the Karpp CDs, which are our like values that we go by, and that's like an acronym. And they also had like their like all their words that they live by. So that was like a cool connection that I thought was pretty unique. And also the coaching staff was like amazing and I love them. And the girls were great too. So that was it. And I
they checked a lot of boxes, right?
Yeah.
And Ava, you're going to go become a Louisville Cardinal, the Bluegrass State. What do you like about Louisville, Kentucky?
Well, it's always been a dream of mine ever since I picked up a lacrosse stick to play in the ACC division, because it's the highest conference, and I just feel like it's just always been a dream of mine. And as soon as I stepped on campus, the coaches were welcoming, and I knew they wanted me and I wanted them. And like my official visit was awesome. Like we did a bunch of amazing things, and I'm just super excited to go there. It's like their values, like Jaelyne said, they go by the hard hat too. They read the hard hat, which is what we do here at Fairport, and they do what George does. So that was super important to me. And also it would be really nice if Ella came along with me, but that'll all be decided later on. But
I'm not sure that actually might be a recruiting violation. I'm not sure. You'll have to check it.
I don't know.
Just kidding. I'm kidding, obviously. Steve?
So Ella, maybe just talk about your pathway. But you can't commit anything until September 1st, but this upcoming summer is big for you going from sophomore to junior year. What's your summer look like?
So I play for a travel team called Monster. And we travel all over the East Coast. We even go to Dallas in the fall and Florida and this fall. I'm also doing a ton of like recruiting events, like this new thing called Best in Class, which is coming up next week, and I'm super excited for it. And some camps of schools that I'm very interested in. So I'm just hoping for a great summer so I can get to the place where I belong in the fall.
Coach, one of the pictures I saw from your sideline was a statuette of Herb Brooks, coaching 1980 U.S. Olympic hockey team. Movie miracle.
Yep.
What's the story behind having Herb Brooks on your sideline?
So that was actually the first time that Herb has been on the sideline. I actually got that like a week ago when I was in Lake Placid. I'm getting married there next year, and I like picked it up because I know that the team has a tradition for like years and years and years now with watching Miracle. They listen to the speech that Herb Brooks gives in the movie before every single game. Very meaningful for our team and for our players. And so I saw that and picked it up, and I was like, how fun would it be to have Herb Brooks on the sideline with us for a little positive juju here? So but I know that that's something that the girls love, and a lot of traditions that they'll take with them, I hope.
Mary, you took over in 2019?
Yep.
Okay, and so then tell us a little about your coaching and your playing past. Did you play in high school and college?
Yeah.
Lacrosse?
Yeah, so I'm from Long Island, actually. I'm not from here. So I played.
Oh, Long
I
Island.
know, I'm
They
sorry.
usually
Oh,
beat us up
wow.
bad.
I know, I'm sorry. I went to Northport High School and played there, played varsity 3 years. I have a bit of a more like unique playing history. I actually didn't play a ton in high school. I went to an ultra competitive high school, kind of like the Fairports and the Pittsfords and the Rushes. Just a ton of Division I commits. I think there were 13 of us in my graduating class, and maybe like 9 of them were going D1, and then 2 of us were going D3, and I was one of the D3 ones. So I just didn't see a ton of time. But I felt like I was prepared really well. I played with some insanely good players. And so I played at University of Rochester Division III and loved my experience there, had an awesome experience and played significantly there. So after I played in college, I started coaching club a little bit, and then a couple of the parents told me that the JV job was opening up at Fairport. I was like 22 at this time, or even 21 maybe. So I was super young. So I took the JV job for a year, and then the varsity position opened up a year after. And people were encouraging me to go for it, and I was like, this is a lot right now. It's a big job for a young person, 22, 23-year-old, but I was really passionate about this. Obviously, I think that the girls can see that, and
But you took the job, right? You took the
I
job.
did. Yeah, I took
So
the
you're
job.
only like 25, 26?
Now I'm 28. It's my 5th year. I just
Oh,
turned
okay.
28. Yeah.
So old.
I feel old. I say that all the time to them.
Oh, stop.
No.
She doesn't let us call her ma'am.
Yeah, I do hate that.
That would be a rule.
No,
Like, yes, I
ma'am.
don't like someone calls me sir. I don't like
No. Yeah.
that. But kidding aside, Jaelyne, let me ask you about your coach. Is she fiery? Is she pretty poised and to the point and level-headed and calm on the sideline, or does she get in your face if someone who needs to get in her face?
I think she's a pretty good mix of like a lot of things. I think she's really fun and like one of our like friends. If that's what we
Totally.
need, not one of our like friends, but like if that's what we need, like joke around, like we joke around at practice, like when we can, but when we need to be serious, she's serious and we like get to work. And I just think that she's just what we need all the time. Like she's what we need when we need it.
So true.
He's the good cop, bad cop all rolled into one, right?
Those Monty's bad cop sometimes.
But that's part of psychology of being a coach.
Yes.
Steve?
Yeah, Ava, let's talk celebrations. What was the celebration like after the sectionals and then after states? I mean, bus rides, fire trucks. How do we celebrate?
Oh my gosh. Our celebrations have started since the first time we stepped on the field this year. Whether it's a goal or ground ball, you will see people flying in the air on pictures and everything. It's awesome. And that's like one of the main things. Like, we celebrate everything, which builds the momentum of every game, each game. And I just think after she scored the winning goal, like, we had the chip on our shoulder like the whole season, and we knew that we wanted that game. And it was just it was emotional, but it was also just like, it was just amazing. Like, everyone jumping on each other and the love. Like, we also Shea Baker, when she came in before the semifinal game, she said love wins, and that really stuck with me and a lot of the other girls, because it's true. Whether you step on the field, you can see that we have love for each other. And when you see that, like, outside, like from the other team, when you see a team that loves each other, it's hard to be like it's hard to see. It's like, wow, like they just scored on us, or we just scored on them, and they're like still like upbeat and having a good time, because it's like just hard to see that. And after states, all I can remember is just like the bliss and oh my God, it was emotional. Me and Ella were hugging for like 2 minutes straight. It was amazing, and something I will remember for the rest of my life. And an hour after that, I was at my senior ball celebrating as a state champ.
Oh, that was the night of your senior ball, the day of your senior ball.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
What a day. Holy cow. You're not going to have many better days in your life, young lady.
That's what I'm saying.
Maybe when you get married and you become a parent, that's be a pretty good 3 days right there. Marriage, parent, and then the day you won the state championship and you went to see your ball.
Hey,
you got
Jeff,
a great group
I got one for Jaelyne. Jaelyne, how'd you become a goalie? And Ava just talked about the love, and I think that was so much on display when they announced the MVP of sectionals, because it was the first time we had seen the all tournament team rolled out, and we didn't know what they were going to do. And when they called your name, the whole place went nuts. So how'd you become a goalie, and what was the reaction to hearing your name at East Rochester being MVP?
Oh my gosh, how did I become a goalie? I started in 5th grade, and honestly, the coach just asked if someone would do it, and I was like, I'll try it.
Who was the coach?
Actually, one of our seniors' dads. It was Mr. Keys, or Coach Keys back then, and he was like, we need someone to do it. And I was like, yeah, I'll try it. But then I got home and I told my parents that I was going to be a goalie, and they were like, no, you're not. They were like, you're not going to stand there and get hit with lacrosse balls coming at you at, I don't even know, 50, 60 miles an hour. Like, that's not happening. But here we are. And to get my name called for that was like insane. Like, it was an amazing feeling. And I just can't even describe it. It was like it was a great feeling.
You got a big thing to stick in your pocket and pull out with mom and dad whenever you want now. I mean, come on. You're going on scholarship to Ohio State, and you didn't want me to play goalie, right?
I know.
You saved them thousands of dollars by playing goalie. You sound like a really great group, and I know you're going to be missing your seniors, but it sounds like there's I just finished watching Ted Lasso, and there's a lot of belief in this group. It sounds like if you're happy, even though you get scored on, and the other team sees that, they're like, well, maybe we can't break whatever they got going on over there in Fairport. So we know how competitive Section 5 is with Rush and Pittsford, for sure, in Class A. So we know Fairport will be back too. Steve, any final thoughts on the Red Raiders?
Yeah, if I'm reading the room correctly, I think Ella might have a pretty good sense of humor. So, Ella, who gives the best miracle speech? Now, you just can't watch Herb Brooks and not do the speech. So who's the one that says, this is our time?
Oh, we hold hands and we get our arms together. And then after one specific part where he says, I'm so sick and tired of hearing about what a great hockey team the Soviets are, we all scream at the top of our lungs, screw them, and we bang on the bus. And it really sets the tone for how warm-ups are going to be, how the game is going to be. And it's just something that brings us together because no one is embarrassed by it. Like, we don't get embarrassed by how much love we show because it's just something that is like, no one else does it.
How many tears are shed, no one's embarrassed.
Well, I'm looking at some smiling faces. It's glad. I'm happy to see it for Fairport. We always like saying it's Steve and I've always said this, even though we didn't say it publicly when we used to work for the Democrat Chronicle, but it's always great to see new people in the winner's circle. The dynasties are nice, but it's also nice to see new kids celebrating, new kids on the block, the Section 5 block. So
We're still here.
Oh, yeah.
See, I used to be a writer, Ella and Ava. I used to be a writer. That kind of stuff just happens. Anyway, thank you for making some time for us. Congrats on everything. And we'll certainly follow your career moving on into college, Jaelyne and Ava. And Ella, 46 goals. That's you got a lot to live up to. You got a lot to fill your own shoes. So I'm sure we'll see you doing more here for Fairport. Coach Karpp, great to meet you. Congrats on your success.
Thank you. And thank you for having us. Appreciate your time.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
You're welcome, ladies. Well done. Well done. Fairport Red Raiders, state champs, and never going to get tired of hearing that. Thanks for watching us right here on YouTube on the Connors and Ferris High School Sports Show.